Cameron Hayes was running late for the biggest interview of his life. After 18 months of unemployment, he'd finally landed a meeting with Meridian Industries, a Fortune 500 company looking for a new operations director. The salary would change everything for him and his daughter, Lily. He checked his watch, 8:45. The interview was at 9. He was cutting it close, but he'd make it if traffic cooperated. Then he saw the smoke. A red sedan sat on the shoulder of the highway, flames erupting from under the hood. Cars slowed to look, but kept driving. Through the windshield, Cameron could see a young woman in the driver's seat, frantically trying to open her door. Every instinct screamed at him to keep going. He couldn't be late for this interview. Lily was counting on him. They were 2 months behind on rent, living on his dwindling savings and the kindness of neighbors who watched Lily while he job hunted. But the woman was trapped, and the fire was spreading. Cameron pulled over, his heart pounding. He grabbed the small fire extinguisher from his trunk and ran toward the burning vehicle. "Help me!" the woman screamed through the window. The doors jammed and the handle broke off. The flames were growing, licking up from the engine compartment. Cameron aimed the extinguisher at the fire, buying himself seconds. Then he braced his foot against the car frame and pulled with everything he had. The door wouldn't budge. "Move away from the door," he shouted. The woman scrambled to the passenger side. Cameron grabbed a rock from the roadside and smashed the driver's window. Glass shattered. He reached in, unlocked what was left of the door mechanism from the inside, and this time when he pulled, it gave way. "Come on," he urged, extending his hand. The woman grabbed it and he pulled her through the door just as the flames intensified. They ran 20 feet away before Cameron's fire extinguisher ran out. Another driver had called 911. Sirens wailed in the distance. "Are you hurt?" Cameron asked, checking the woman for injuries. She was shaking, her blonde hair disheveled, mascara smudged from tears. She looked young, maybe mid-20s, wearing a business suit that was now torn and covered in soot. "I'm okay. You saved my life. That door, it just wouldn't open, and the fire kept getting bigger, and I thought—" She broke off, starting to cry. "You're safe now. That's what matters. Your hand," she said, pointing. Cameron looked down to see blood dripping from his palm where he'd cut it on the broken window glass. "It's fine. Just a scratch." The fire trucks arrived, along with an ambulance. Paramedics insisted on checking both of them. While they bandaged Cameron's hand, he watched the firefighters extinguish what remained of the car. "Sir, you did a brave thing," one of the firefighters told him. "Another minute, and that whole car would have been engulfed. She wouldn't have made it out." Cameron's phone buzzed a text from the HR director at Meridian Industries. "Mr. Hayes, are you still planning to attend your 9 a.m. interview? Please confirm." He looked at the time, 9:15. Even if he left right now, he'd be at least 45 minutes late. His hands shook as he typed his response. "I'm so sorry. I stopped to help at an accident scene and won't be able to make the interview. I understand if you need to move forward with other candidates. Thank you for the opportunity." The response came quickly. "We appreciate you letting us know. Unfortunately, we'll need to continue with our other scheduled candidates. Best of luck in your job search." Cameron closed his eyes. 18 months of searching, hundreds of applications, and he'd just blown his best chance at getting back on his feet. "Are you okay?" The woman he'd rescued stood beside him, wrapped in a blanket the paramedics had given her. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just realized I was supposed to be somewhere." "Oh no. Because of me? What was it? Job interview. But don't worry about it. Some things are more important than interviews. Where was the interview?" "Maybe I can call them, explain what happened. It's okay, really. They're a big company, they have other candidates, it's not a big deal." He tried to smile but couldn't quite manage it. "At least let me get your contact information. I want to pay you back somehow, for saving my life." "You don't owe me anything. I'm just glad you're safe. Please, I'm Sophia Monroe. And I insist on at least buying you coffee or something. You literally saved my life." Cameron gave her his number, figuring she'd never call. People always said they'd stay in touch after dramatic events, but they rarely did. "I'm Cameron Hayes. Take care of yourself, Sophia." He drove home to his small apartment, where his neighbor Mrs. Chen was watching 7-year-old Lily. "How did it go?" Mrs. Chen asked excitedly. "I didn't make it to the interview, There was an accident. I had to help. Lily looked up from her coloring book. Is everyone okay, Daddy? Everyone's fine, sweetheart. Then you did the right thing, Lily said with the absolute certainty of a child. You always say helping people is more important than anything. Cameron hugged her tight, fighting back tears. You're right, baby. I did do the right thing. After Mrs. Chen left, Cameron sat at his laptop and resumed the soul-crushing work of job hunting, updating his resume, searching job boards, writing cover letters that all said essentially the same thing. I'm skilled, I'm reliable, please give me a chance. 3 days later, his phone rang from an unknown number. Cameron Hayes? This is Jennifer Caldwell from Meridian Industries. Cameron's heart sank. They were probably calling to officially reject him. Yes, this is Cameron. I'm the executive assistant to Richard Monroe, our CEO. He'd like to meet with you tomorrow at 2 p.m. if you're available. I'm sorry, I thought my interview slot was given to someone else? This is a different meeting. Mr. Monroe specifically requested it. Can you make it? Cameron's mind raced. Why would the CEO want to meet him? Had something gone wrong? Yes, I can be there. Excellent. I'll send you the details. The next day, Cameron arrived at Meridian Industries 20 minutes early, wearing his only suit. The building was impressive. Glass and steel, modern and expensive. Jennifer Caldwell met him in the lobby and escorted him to the top floor. Instead of a conference room, she led him directly to a corner office with floor-to-ceiling windows. Richard Monroe stood as Cameron entered. He was in his 60s, with silver hair and sharp eyes that assessed Cameron immediately. Mr. Hayes, thank you for coming. Please sit down. Thank you for seeing me, sir, though I'm not entirely sure why I'm here. You're here because you saved my daughter's life 3 days ago. Cameron felt the air leave his lungs. Sophia is your daughter? She is. She called me from the hospital and told me what you did. How you stopped to help when everyone else drove past, how you risked your own safety to get her out of that car, and how you missed a job interview to do it. I couldn't just leave her there. Most people did. My daughter counted at least 15 cars that slowed down and then drove away. I have a daughter too. I'd hope someone would stop for her if she needed help. Richard studied him for a long moment. Sophia told me about your interview, the one you missed. She felt terrible about it. She shouldn't. I made the choice to stop. Why? Because it was the right thing to do. Because someone needed help and I was there. Because that's what you do. Even when it costs you something important, especially then, character is what you do when it costs you something, not when it's convenient. Richard leaned back in his chair. I've reviewed your resume, Mr. Hayes. 17 years in operations management, excellent references, strong track record. Why have you been unemployed for 18 months? Cameron had known this question would come up. I took time off when my wife was diagnosed with cancer. I wanted to be with her and take care of our daughter. After she passed away, I had some things to sort out emotionally before I was ready to work again. I probably waited too long, and the gap on my resume has made it difficult to get interviews. I'm sorry about your wife. How old is your daughter? 7. Her name's Lily. Sophia mentioned you were running late to your interview but still stopped. That shows priority clarity. A lot of people talk about values, but you demonstrated yours under pressure. I appreciate you saying that, sir, but I'm still not sure why I'm here. You're here because I need an operations director, someone who makes good decisions under pressure, someone with integrity who does the right thing even when it costs them, someone who doesn't just talk about values but lives them. Cameron's heart started to race. Are you offering me the job? I'm offering you the opportunity to prove you deserve it. 3-month trial period. If you perform as well as I think you will, it becomes permanent. Salary is $20,000 more than what was originally posted. We have excellent benefits, including full medical and dental. And I expect you to leave at 5 o'clock every day, unless there's a genuine emergency. Your daughter needs her father present, not just providing. Cameron felt tears prick his eyes. Mr. Monroe, I don't know what to say. Say yes. Unless you have better offers. I don't have any other offers. I haven't had an interview in 3 months before the one I missed. Yes, absolutely yes, thank you. Don't thank me yet. This is going to be hard work. I'm giving you this opportunity because of what you did for Sophia, but you'll keep it based on your performance. Understood? Completely understood. Richard stood and extended his hand. Welcome to Meridian Industries, Cameron. Start. Monday? I'll be here. As Cameron left the building, his phone rang. It was Sophia. Cameron? It's Sophia Monroe. My dad just texted me. Congratulations. Thank you, and thank you for telling him what happened. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. You saved my life and lost an opportunity because of it. I couldn't let that stand. But for what it's worth, my dad hired you because of your qualifications. What you did for me just got you through the door. I appreciate that. How are you doing? Recovered from the accident? Physically, I'm fine. Emotionally, I'm still processing how close I came to dying. It's put a lot of things in perspective. I can imagine. Cameron, can I ask you something? In that moment when you saw my car on fire, what made you stop? Really? Cameron thought about it. I thought about my daughter, about how she'd be alone if something happened to me, and I thought about how I'd want someone to help her if she was in trouble. So I stopped. Not because I'm a hero, but because that's the world I want her to grow up in. One where people help each other. That's exactly what my dad said you'd say. He has good instincts about people. He certainly gave me a chance I didn't expect. Prove him right. Show everyone that helping people doesn't make you a sucker or a fool. Show them it makes you the kind of person worth investing in. That evening, Cameron took Lily out for pizza to celebrate. They couldn't really afford, but the occasion demanded something special. Daddy has a job again, baby. A really good one. Lily's face lit up. Because you helped that lady? Sort of. Helping her led to meeting the right people, but also because I'm good at what I do. I knew someone would give you a job. You're the best dad ever. Cameron's eyes filled with tears. You know what, Lily? You're the reason I stopped to help that lady, because I thought about what I'd want someone to do for you. Everything good I do because I'm trying to be the kind of father you deserve. You already are, Daddy. Cameron started at Meridian Industries the following Monday. The work was challenging but manageable. His team was skeptical at first, wondering if he was just the boss's charity case. But Cameron earned their respect through competence and genuine leadership. Richard Monroe kept his distance, letting Cameron prove himself without interference. But Cameron would occasionally see him watching from across the office, assessing, evaluating. 6 weeks into the trial period, Cameron was called to Richard's office. How are you settling in? Richard asked. It's going well. The team has some initial doubts, but we're working through them. I've identified several inefficiencies in our supply chain process that I'm addressing. I've heard. Your team lead says you're the best manager they've had in 5 years. That you actually listen to their concerns and implement their suggestions. They're the ones doing the work. It makes sense to hear what they have to say. Richard smiled. You're exactly what I thought you'd be. Consider the trial period over. You're permanent as of today. And I'm giving you a team of 3 additional staff to tackle that supply chain project. Thank you, sir. I won't let you down. I know you won't. Cameron, can I tell you something? Of course. Sophia asked me once why I gave you this chance. She assumed it was because you saved her life. But that's not the complete truth. What is the complete truth? I gave you this chance because you demonstrated something I rarely see anymore. The ability to make the right choice when it costs you something. You had every reason to keep driving. You were late, desperate for work, responsible for a child. Stopping to help Sophia meant sacrificing something critical. But you did it anyway. It was the only choice. That's my point. For you, it was the only choice. Most people would have calculated the cost and kept driving. They would have rationalized that someone else would stop, that they had their own problems, that they couldn't afford to be late. You didn't do that calculation. You just helped. That's the kind of character I want in my leadership team. Cameron felt humbled. I appreciate your confidence in me. Earn it every day. Not through grand gestures, but through consistent integrity. That's all I ask. A year later, Cameron had been promoted to Senior Director of Operations. Lily was thriving in a better school district. They'd moved to a nice apartment, and for the first time since his wife's death, Cameron felt like they were building a stable life. Sophia had become a friend, occasionally joining Cameron and Lily for dinner or weekend activities. She'd started a nonprofit focused on roadside emergency response education, teaching people how to help at accident scenes safely. "You inspired this," she told Cameron at the nonprofit's launch event. "That day, I counted 17 cars that passed me. 17 people who looked at someone in danger and decided their schedule was more important. I want to change that. I want people to know that stopping to help doesn't make you a fool. It makes you human." "I'm proud of you," Cameron said. "This is going to help a lot of people. That's the goal. Pay forward what you did for me." Richard Monroe retired 2 years later, and in his farewell speech to the company, he told the story of hiring Cameron. "I took a chance on a man who'd been unemployed for 18 months. A man who missed his interview because he stopped to help my daughter when her car caught fire. People asked me if I was being sentimental, if I was letting gratitude cloud my judgment. I told them I was doing the opposite. I was hiring someone who demonstrated the exact quality I valued most, the ability to do the right thing when it costs you something." He looked directly at Cameron. "That man is now our chief operating officer. He's transformed our operations, built an incredible team, and embodied the values we claim to hold." I didn't give Cameron Hayes a job out of gratitude. I gave him an opportunity to show what he was capable of. He's exceeded every expectation. The lesson here is simple. Character reveals itself in crisis. And when you find someone whose character shines in their darkest moment, you hold on to them. After Richard's retirement, Cameron found a letter on his desk. "Cameron, thank you for saving my daughter. Not just from the fire, but from the cynicism that had been growing in her. She'd been in a dark place, questioning whether good people still existed in the world. You showed her they do. You showed me too. I built a successful company, but I'd forgotten why it mattered. You reminded me that business isn't just about profit. It's about building something that reflects our values. Thank you for that gift. And thank you for proving that doing the right thing isn't naive or foolish. It's the only thing that really matters. With respect and gratitude, Richard." Years later, when Lily was older and asked her father about the turning point in their lives, Cameron would tell her about the morning he saw a car on fire and made a choice. "I was terrified," he'd tell her, "not just of the fire, but of missing that interview. We needed that job desperately, but I thought about you and what I'd want someone to do if you were in danger, and I realized that the kind of world I wanted you to grow up in was one where people help each other, even when it's inconvenient, even when it costs them something." "But it ended up not costing you anything," Lily would say. "You got an even better job. That's not the point, sweetheart. I didn't know that would happen. As far as I knew, I was throwing away our best chance at financial stability, but I stopped anyway because some things matter more than personal gain. And yes, it worked out in unexpected ways, but even if it hadn't, I'd have made the same choice. That's what integrity means, doing the right thing regardless of the outcome." The lesson Cameron learned that day on the highway wasn't about rewards or recognition. It was about the person he wanted to be and the example he wanted to set for his daughter. He'd chosen to help, not knowing how it would turn out. That choice had cost him an interview and nearly cost him hope, but it had given him something more valuable, the knowledge that he was the kind of person who stopped when others drove past, the kind of father who demonstrated values instead of just preaching them. And in the end, that was the only thing that really mattered. The end, if this story reminded you that character is revealed in how we act when it costs us something, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales about integrity, courage, and doing right when it's hardest. Comment below about a time you helped someone even though it was inconvenient, or when someone's unexpected kindness changed your life. Your story might inspire someone else to stop and help when everything in them wants to keep driving.